You know that feeling, right? You're paying for a super fast internet plan. All the speed tests say you're getting what you pay for. But when you actually use it, it just feels slow. Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the real reason behind all that frustrating lag. So let's just get right into it because I know this is a question so many of us have. You're forking over good money every month for those big speeds, expecting everything to be buttery smooth. But then your video calls freeze up, your games are choppy, you're left wondering, what is the deal? Okay, here's the secret. It all comes down to understanding that internet speed and internet responsiveness are two completely different things. On one hand, you've got download speed. That's the big, flashy number your internet provider loves to advertise. Think of it like the number of lanes on a highway. It's about how much data you can move at the same time. But on the other hand, you've got ping, and that's about how fast a single car can travel down that highway, get to its destination, and come all the way back. And this, right here, brings us to what I call the fast but slow paradox. It is the absolute core of this whole mystery. This is the paradox in action. You run a speed test, you see this giant number, and you think, great, everything's perfect. But the moment you try to do something that needs a real-time, snappy response, the whole experience just falls flat. It's that classic disconnect between what the numbers on paper say and what you actually feel. So, if that big download speed number isn't the problem, what is? Well, it's about time we formally meet the sneaky culprit behind all this frustration, ping. And here's the most important thing to get about ping. It's a measure of time, not size or amount. It's literally the round-trip travel time for a tiny packet of data to go from your computer to a server and all the way back. We measure it in milliseconds, and because it's a measure of delay, a lower number is always better. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because we can translate these numbers into something you can actually feel. Anything between, say, 10 and 30 milliseconds, that feels instant. Like you click, it happens, sharp. 40 to 80 is totally fine, totally acceptable for most things. But the moment you start creeping over 100 milliseconds, you can feel it. You start to notice that delay. And anything over 200, oh, it's just painful. Everything feels delayed and super frustrating. So let's talk about how this actually affects your day-to-day life online. Because trust me, this isn't just a problem for competitive gamers. It messes with pretty much everything we do. And this list pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? For video calls, that high ping is what creates those super awkward pauses where you accidentally talk over each other. Trying to use a cloud app like Google Docs, every click just feels hesitant. If you work from home, it's that sticky feeling where it feels like your typing is lagging behind your fingers. And yeah, for gaming, it's a massive, massive disadvantage. The other player's actions are literally registering on the server before yours even get there. Okay, so we get it. Ping is the problem. But what causes it? Why is your ping high in the first place? Well, it's usually not just one thing. It can be something right inside your own house. You know, like a weak Wi-Fi signal because you're too far from the router. Or maybe someone else is downloading a massive file and hogging the connection. But it can also be stuff that's totally out of your control, like your internet provider's network being really congested, or just the simple physics of being thousands of miles away from the server you're trying to reach. Every single step in that chain can add delay. But here's the good news. You are not powerless in this fight. There are some really simple, practical things you can do to lower that ping and make your connection feel snappy again. All right, here are the 3 biggest, easiest wins. Number 1, and I cannot stress this enough, if you can, plug in an Ethernet cable. A wired connection is without a doubt your most stable, low-ping link to the internet. It's a game changer. 2, if you have to use Wi-Fi, just get closer to the router. Fewer walls, less distance, better signal, lower ping. And 3, this is a big one. Whenever a game or an app gives you a choice, always, always pick the server region that's geographically closest to you. And for those of you who want to take it to the next level, you can dig into your router settings and look for something called QoS, or Quality of Service. Think of it like a bouncer for your internet. It lets you tell your router, hey, this work video call is super important. Put it at the front of the line. It makes sure your most time-sensitive stuff gets priority over everything else. And this really is the key takeaway from all of this. For years, we've been blaming our computers, our game consoles, saying, ugh, this thing is so slow. But you know what? More often than not, the hardware is perfectly fine. The real bottleneck, the real villain making everything feel sluggish, is the delay in your network. It's the ping. So, now you're in on the secret. It's not always about how much data you can download, it's about how responsive your connection is. So, I'll just leave you with this question. Knowing what you know now, what's one simple change you can make, maybe even today, to sharpen your connection and finally fix the real problem?